I never did ask the secret question, so I'm going to backtrack to that question, and you kind of answered it already, but maybe we can elaborate the difference between the secret question is what is the difference between a solutionary and just a problem solver?
Good question. And I get that question almost every time I speak. The easiest way for me to discern that and to explain it is a problem solver most of the time is just interested in solving and getting rid of a symptom. They don't dig deep enough to find the root cause of the problem. For instance, gun violence in America. We've had gun violence in America since the Wild West.
Mhm.
So this isn't new. And it isn't the gun that's the problem, but they all want to gravitate to the gun.
Mhm.
The gun is a symptom of the problem.
Mhm.
I did research on mass shootings. A mass shooting is anything where three or more die in one incident. I took 100 years of history around mass shootings, and I broke it into 250-year intervals because there was a delineation in that around the 50th year that showed a increase in the number of occurrences. So what I've been able to compile is it isn't the automatic weapon that's causing the problem because some people want to get rid of ban automatic weapons as the solution to the problem. Well, if the automatic weapon was the culprit and was the problem, then we would have saw more deaths per event and we were seeing less deaths per event. So it wasn't the automatic rifle that was the problem. The problem was something changed that made people believe it was okay. More people believed it was okay to take another's life. So what could have caused that? It's interesting to note certain things that happened around that 50th year. One thing that ended in America was we closed all the mental institutions.
Mhm.
We put 500,000 mentally challenged people on the streets of America, all in one fell swoop. So we discontinued having mental hospitals. We also passed early in the early 70s, we passed Roe v. Wade.
Mhm.
Roe v. Wade cheapened life.
Mhm.
In other words, you could have an abortion for any reason. You didn't have to tell the reason, you just could go in and have an abortion. So cheapened life. Around the same time, we took prayer out of schools.
Mhm.
We were praying every day before school. We stopped that. Since then, it's become harder and harder to speak religiously in any kind of public forum. Businesses used to always start a meeting with an invocation or a dinner with an invocation. That's kind of been quelled a little bit. So there was more incidents that led me to believe that it was the beliefs of people that changed. The problem is we took God out of the picture. We made life cheap. And by making life cheap, more people now believe it's perfectly okay. And, or should I say, they could be still mentally challenged people out there that should be locked away and not allowed to be in general population. So there's a lot of things going on. We have a low incident. One of the hardest practices or hardest uh, industries to hire in is psychiatry.
Mhm.
It's very difficult to keep a psychiatrist because they're dealing with mental problems that creep into their own lives. So it's very difficult to stay a practicing psychiatrist. And so there's lots of reasons why this problem of mass shootings can't be addressed by addressing a symptom. A symptom of a problem cannot be solved. Just like in medicine, you can't solve a problem by fixing a symptom. You can only learn from a symptom and try to find out where will that lead to? What's causing that symptom to happen? Guns are part of the symptom. Overseas in Europe, it's knives. People are going and killing people in mass hysteria using swords and knives. They're using cars. They're using all kinds of other tools because life is too cheap in today's world. So the difference between a problem solver and a solutionary is a solutionary will not try to solve a symptom. We will use the symptoms to find out what is the true problem. But you see, society doesn't always want the problem solved. Society will be more pleased solving a symptom,
Hmm.
and you can't solve a symptom. So even if we banned all rifles or all weapons, people would still continue to kill people because of the true problem out there.